Happy Monday and welcome to Cocktails with Queens. We are back after a much needed week off. I'm super excited about this show. And then
Strange. Hello, darlings.
hey, looking good.
Thank
And please
you.
welcome businesswoman and actress and that's covered under the and furniture mogul. I'm gonna call you a furniture and home decor mogul. You can now get her stuff at the Beverly Center, Miss Lisa Ray. Hello, Lisa Ray.
Hello, ladies. Look at us. Yes.
And Grammy-nominated singer and actress who was all over FOXSOUL this past week. And make sure you go support her new album, Miss Selena Johnson. Hello, Selena.
Hello, everybody.
What's up, y'all? And straight to Macy's to try to find a hat. And I don't like this hat, but I was like, it works. So I got the tag still on it. So if y'all trying to shave me, I'm going to point it out first. It's going back.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep it real, Claudia. That's how we do it on Cocktails with Queens.
I'm glad that Claudia. Claudia, because I was thinking the same thing.
Lisa Ray. Wait, you got to fix your brand back. You got to pop it a little bit now. Get it popping. Get it popping.
I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. I'm thinking
that chill. Yes.
I'm in Dallas. I'm thinking I could get a church hat last minute anywhere. This is like the home of the big, huge churches and stuff, the mega churches. And I was like, yo, we're gonna get a church hat. They're like, what? So, anyways, we're gonna make it just do what it do, but in honor of the Kentucky Derby, and this is what we're doing.
The heathen talking about some. Where's the church hat? Can you give me a hat?
They ain't got no church hats out here either, child. You know what? Can I tell you? I went searching too. I was Googling. I went by vintage stores. I went by all kind of places. Y'all remember back in the day, Mom and them, they had those hats everywhere. Mm-hmm. No longer. You could get them at all of the big stores. Mm-mm.
So what did y'all do? Like, let's hear about y'all's looks. Like how, Selena, you said you pretty much made your hat.
Yeah,
me too. I literally went down to the internet and Googled Kentucky Derby outfits. And so I looked out throughout the little outfits and I saw like what they were doing. I saw the little, the flowers and the big dramatics. So I am also a home decor connoisseur. I have lots of flower pots in my house. So this is a sun hat that I wear when I go on vacation. So then I went and got flowers out of an actual pot in my house and stuck them in the hat. Then I went and took a brooch and pinned it up on the side, and I saw like they'd be like matching real good with the hat and then the outfits. Mm-hmm. So I matched my outfit with my hat, and then I was like, "This going to work."
You worked it out. You made it do what it do. And Vivica, you got a cute fedora. Like Vivica, your hat, you can rock that anytime. That's a cute hat.
Well, honestly, honey, it is a fedora, child, because I'm telling you, I went searching high and low. And so I kind of did like Selena. I had arts and crafts too. My girls came, I said, look here. So I kind of got on some booty shorts, and then I took this t-shirt and cut her and made her right.
Booty shorts.
Right. That's something. And
Yeah, Vivica, she's requesting to see your booty. Hold on. Wait a minute. Pan down.
Lisa Ray. Yes, booty.
I mean, we did a little cheeky cheek with our little cocktails. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And she didn't think I was gonna get up and do it either, did she?
But you did.
I did.
That's right.
I've been trying to keep it tight and right, honey.
And Lisa Ray, you have a throwback. Lisa Ray, you got a whole Derby throwback picture that we want to take a look at right quick, and I want you to tell us what's going on with this look. Lisa Ray has a throwback. There you go. After Derby.
Yeah, horny. Look at that girl. Is that? Oh, that's Monique and Gabrielle in the picture too.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
That was years ago when I attended the Kentucky Derby. One out of the 4 times that I won, I absolutely had a ball. I was in one of the suites, and it is absolutely about the hats. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was
how fun. I always want to go. Like, is it a lot of fun? A lot of good parties.
Claudia. So, you know, but I don't know if you ain't touching the dice or rolling nothing, if that's going to really, you know, feed your fetish. But because you like gambling, I like horses. I'm a horse rider. I compete in barrel racing, you know. You know, the horses for me, I love how thick their necks are and how long their tails are and how wide their ass is. Like all of that for me is just like, I like a stud. I'm talking about the horse that is.
Yeah, sure you were. Yeah, sure you were, Lisa Ray. But you know what? It is like when you go to the Kentucky Derby, you literally understand what horsepower means. Yes. When I'm telling you, it's like dum 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 dum. I mean, the roar, the thunder of it, and the race is like under like 2 minutes or something like that. But it is so exciting. And then if you follow the horses, and then after this, you go to the Belmont, and you're looking to see whether or not someone's going to be a Triple Crown winner. So it's the wonderful world of horse racing that some people don't like, but I find it amazing.
The adrenaline and the people that you meet, yes. The networking, you know what I mean? It's good to, but come on now. If people are betting on horses, they got money. And the people that the horses belong to got money. So I like money. So I
And you know what? A gambler is just a gambler, just period. And I started off betting on horses. I used to go to ghetto ass Hollywood Park in LA.
Yes. Me too. Oh, wait, and then I even went out to Santa Anita. And when I went out to Santa Anita, I was like one of the celebrity guests. And they actually let me go down into where the horses they were at. And you could see the horses giving each other attitude, like, yeah, I'm gonna get that ass tonight. Yeah, move, yeah. Right, well, I got this.
Taken care of. It's like you could tell a horse is really taking care of their fur and how strong when they walk. Like the power in them. It's like, I love it.
You know what, Lisa Ray? You talking real passionately about the horses. I got a video I'm gonna put in our group chat after the show. I'm gonna put another video in the group chat for us. It has to do with horses.
It'd be nasty, but okay, Claudia.
I'm too scared of this one.
You know what, y'all? When we were on our little vacation, we didn't talk as much. You know what I mean? Because I think everybody was kind of breathing for a little bit. But I'm gonna tell y'all out there, fans, our group chats are off the chain. Lisa Ray loves waking you up with something that makes you go.
Yeah, I know.
Wake up and throw up. Okay.
Lisa I noticed. She almost got me jammed up down to the T-Mobile store. I was changing over my phone. And you know how in WhatsApp, if you don't fix the little thing to where if you play a video, it goes into your pictures. Yeah. And so I'm trying to clear something out my phone and this video pops up and I'm in T-Mobile. And the T-Mobile people looked at me. I was like, wait.
Hold up. I promise she did.
Lisa Ray has got me out here bad.
Speaking of the chat, I noticed I posted a video. It may have gone too far because none of y'all commented the video.
Oh, my WhatsApp won't work. I'm trying to download it on my phone, so that's
you know what, Claudia, and I apologize because I've been filming like the last 2 weeks kind of crazy, so I kind of caught up and was like, oh my God, I missed something. So
okay, I'm glad. I'm glad it's because you were busy and not because I felt like because we go far in that group. If I offend us in that group, I went too far. So no one said anything. So I deleted it because I was like, I deleted it.
No. I saw it. And I did say something.
Oh, did you? Wait a minute. Let me go back and check out. What's this
where fisting was involved?
Oh, yeah, no, that was a yucky. I checked it and said, I tapped out.
Yeah. So that's the thing that went too far in the group? Okay.
I mean, I'm like, go all the way, you know.
All right, guys.
I came out.
So we're definitely, tipping our hat to the Kentucky Derby. I want to just mention one fact before we move on with the show. The Churchill Downs, that was a couple days prior to the Derby, and there was a horse that's owned by the lawyers for Breonna Taylor's family. They named the horse Breonna, and that horse won by a substantial amount. And the lawyer, Sam Aguiar, his wife said that she decided to name the horse after Breonna Taylor out of respect, no disrespect, because the horse is resilient and beautiful. And I thought that was a beautiful kind of symbol, that the horse won the race during that week.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, ladies, what are y'all drinking tonight? What y'all drinking? It's been a minute.
Well, you know me, I went back, girl. I got my pimp cup out today. So, with all blinged out, even though Chowder got chipped in the dishwasher, but that's all right. It's still holding on. It's still holding on, but I'm having some Pinot Noir.
All right. Selena.
Classic. I have my little wife cup today. Me and my husband have these little wife and husband cups. And so I have my little wife cup. It's a what is this in here? It's a Cabernet. Is this Cabernet?
Okay.
This is like a Cabernet.
What am I drinking again? What? Yeah, that.
Exactly.
What you got, Lisa? Right? Is that the tea?
Oh, and Claudia, don't forget that usually mint julep is the drink of the
Derby.
Of the Derby. Yeah, when you come in, they're like mint julep, mint julep, mint julep. You know.
I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay, well, now that we got all the good stuff out of the way, we got some topics tonight. There's a lot of topics that we gotta cover.
Dive in.
Yeah, so let's just get started. So last week, reality star Jocelyn Hernandez had a really heated exchange. Did y'all see this with Wendy Williams on Wendy's show? Jocelyn called Wendy out for improperly treating her in the past. She told Wendy, "I'm an accomplished woman, and I just feel like every time I come to your show, and you don't give me those flowers now. And Wendy, you're 35 years my senior. I should get those flowers." Wendy responded by throwing a flower towards the camera and responded, "If you possibly think that I leave here every day and don't feel undervalued for something I do as a woman, we're not even going to talk about race, just as a woman. I still don't make that dollar for dollar that men make. So please, what do y'all think? Did y'all see the exchange, or what do y'all think about it?"
Well, y'all want to go first? Somebody? Anybody?
No, go ahead, Lisa Ray.
Okay. I understood what Jocelyn was saying, However, when you know what type of show you're going on and who that host is and what her job is to do, which is to pull certain things out of you, I think that you need to be able to control your interview. And that comes with leverage, and it comes with maturity and validation, and it comes with longevity, meaning as long as you've been in the business, you learn how to curtail certain things and you learn how to handle certain things, and it doesn't bother you as much. Because when we're doing an interview, you get to answer whatever you want to answer the way that you want to answer, just like that interviewer asked a question the way that they want to ask. So I got her point of saying that, hey, you must have asked me to come on this show because I must be valid or current enough to be asked to come back on your show again. But I want to feel good about coming on the show. I don't want to really just do this is in order, to be able to be seen or heard. But I do want to let you know how I feel, because she said, your producer knows that this is how I feel. Now, I don't think that it should have went as long as it did, because that's what I feel that made Wendy kind of feel like, okay, I heard right. You. But maybe perhaps she didn't have any flowers to give her. And that's why she was trying to just keep the show going. And then to make her be quiet, it was like, girl, here, take a flower then, you know what I mean? Which I felt was a little disrespectful to throw the flower. But again, when she answered the question, which she really didn't, by saying, girl, if you think I leave here undervalued, it was like, okay, but that don't mean I still, because you feel that way, I want to feel that way. You have an opportunity to not make me feel that way, because this is your show and I'm in front of you and I'm your guest. So I think that she was just looking for a little validation for what work that she has done.
Okay, Selena, you were just on her show. What do you think?
I have to agree with what Lisa Ray said. A lot of what she said, I agree with. I was just on the show literally the day before her. And I felt like, there were some topics that she could have, pressed and went into more and more, but I had already made up in my mind how I was going to behave and what I came there for. So I had already made up in my mind what I was going to say, how I was going to behave. And I've known Wendy. I mean, I know Wendy and how she asks questions. We've seen her. We know who Wendy is. We know what type of show it is. And I've been interviewed by Wendy on Hot 97 before. So when she was really let me tell you something, you wouldn't been able to handle Wendy right. At Hot 97. I think she's much milder than she's ever been. So my interview actually was very smooth. She was very kind to me. I didn't have any issues of any sort. She asked me some hard questions and I just answered them honestly and kept it moving. I feel like maybe she respects the fact that I'm just like, hey, you know, just honest with the question, you know, with the answer. However, I do understand where Jocelyn could be coming from as well. And I think it comes from the energy, the tone of what's going on in our world, in our community, the Black community, you know, the fact that we are, you know, trying to say, hey, protect Black women more. Hey, let's work together. Hey, we are trying to turn that corner as Black women in working together and, you know, supporting each other, kind of like Cocktails of the Queens. So we're trying to turn that corner. And I think maybe Jocelyn was hoping to get that from Wendy, but in the same respect, you can't go somewhere and want someone to give you something that they don't have to give you, you know, and then get mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like Lisa Ray said, maybe that's just not what she wanted to do. And that's fine too. Doesn't make either one of them bad people, but you can't go on somebody else's show and make them act like you want them to be.
Because she may not be a fan of her.
That's what I'm saying. If you've been
not a fan, you know.
But if you've been on there before and you know how it kind of goes, then you got to kind of expect, you can't go somewhere, the same place, and expect something new. You know what I'm saying? Even though this energy does say our community is trying to move in that direction. So I get it.
And Vivica, I know you've been on the show as well.
Yes,
and what do you think?
I have many times, but I'm going to say this. Jocelyn, you totally lost your cool, darling. She came on there 100. And I absolutely love Jocelyn, the, you know, Puerto Rican princess. But girlfriend, you are probably never going to get invited back on the Wendy Williams show. Sweetheart, you have to know when things are good for business and when they're not good for business. And, you know, you did, trust me, I didn't dreamed of times that I was going to tell Wendy Williams' ass off. But when you get there, you have to realize that as doing a television show and doing promotion for a television show, that Wendy Williams has a huge show with a huge audience, and she is a necessary evil, unfortunately, but fortunately. And I thought that Wendy really was trying, you know, when she was like, baby, can we get on to the shoe cam? And then she just kept going back and kept going back. I went on Wendy's show and left there a couple of times and like, I could just, you know, but you just, it's Wendy. And you just take the good with the bad, but you always have to walk away with grace so that you can then be invited back. I don't think we're going to see Jocelyn, the Puerto Rican princess, again on Wendy Williams.
Say, and we have to go to break, but you know, I think they both were showing some kind of evolution, because the old Wendy would have probably just cussed somebody out, and she was trying. And actually, Wendy does speak about Jocelyn all the time say how entertaining she is. She's a fan of hers, so it's like don't piss off the ones that actually that do like you. But maybe let me just maybe, I don't know, there was maybe something that I didn't see, but from what I know personally, I always hear Wendy big up and Jocelyn saying how entertaining she is. But also, Jocelyn, me and you, we ain't friends, nothing like that. But, you know, I love the evolution, but it's also good to maybe make peace with some of the people that you've shitted on in your past, like the Mimis and the other people, because then people will take your word more seriously. Like, all right, she's evolved across the board. It's not like you just want to receive, you know, this new vibe from folks. You're willing to also put it out yourself. And I think that says a lot about your character when you're like, all right, before I go demanding this respect, let me go ahead and like kind of say my sorry to people that I've maybe been a little rough with. That's just my 2 cents. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Cocktails of Queens, Kentucky Derby edition when we return. Welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. Welcome back with Lisa Ray, Vivica A. Fox, and Selena Johnson. And we are in our Kentucky Derby look, celebrating the Kentucky Derby that happened this weekend, the 175th. Okay, jumping right back into the hot topics. Amanda Seales had some harsh words for Vice President Kamala Harris following the VP's televised comments last week. Madam Vice President Harris said, "No, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today." Amanda was not pleased with her words and posted this video response. Let's take a look.
That was dumb and embarrassing. And she embarrassed everybody who has supported her.
Well, what are your thoughts on Amanda's comments?
That was a bit much. And I'll say that about her. You know, this is what I don't like about people. Do not wait to take a small snippet of of someone's interview or answer and then decide to generalize who Kamala Harris is and what she stands for. I just find that to be somebody that's just like ready to pounce on a moment. They're just like ready for her to make a statement that they don't agree with and to take a small part of it. Like we were talking before, like, in gents that Kamala Harris knows that America has racism and it's reared its ugly head, especially with the past administration. So, to just like to be sitting there waiting for a snippet to come by for you to then say, oh, that's an embarrassment to everyone that supported her. I disagree with you, Amanda.
And I also feel that sometime when you speak like that in a way in which you act like you don't know what the person meant when they said what they said, it's almost like, give me a break, girl. Read between the lines, because I can also say that, okay, well, the United States itself as the country is not racist. It's the people in it that's racist. But that's what makes the United States. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore it's one and the same. So when you just start, weeding into different things, mm-hmm. That's again though, Claudia, it's like what you said. It's like we are supposed to be exhibiting us supporting each other and being able to change the commentary of a lot of different things. So let's stop doing the pouncing on each other and maybe add to her commentary and add to it in a way in which it uplifts both of you all.
Lisa Ray, can I ask this to y'all? Did her comment and the way she jumped on that, did that seem like personal more than like, oh, us as a people are offended? Or perhaps maybe Amanda doesn't like Kamala?
I don't know. I need to go back and watch a whole video, because I will say this. Amanda Seales, she is actually a very brilliant, very woke woman. She really is. And I got to just say that first. She's brilliant. She's very intelligent. What I will say about us as a people is we are so quick to check our own. And a lot of times the white folks get away with so much stuff before we cancel them out. And I just want us to just be a little bit more understanding about what her position is. I think Kamala Harris is in such a tricky spot. Like, I know we got Barack Obama, then we got Kamala Harris. We want them to be able to be with the black fist up in the air and really ride for us. And they need to, in a sense, but they also have to manage the other 83% of the country that is not, 87% of the country that is not black. So it's like, I do not envy the people in that position. I feel like there's like they're on a tight wire of what they can say. I think she meant like aspirationally, like she doesn't want to just condemn this country as racist, although we know there's a lot of racist mofos in this country. And I don't think Kamala Harris is denying that. I really don't think so. And I think they both know that is not the case.
I think that I agree with you. I think Amanda Seales is extremely brilliant and bright and just super educated. But I think sometimes, I struggle with people who have commentary that is so dead on, spot on, going at somebody else, but you never really see them ever point out their own mistakes. So like, for instance, Claudia can say, yeah, child, I did this, that, and the third. I'm the first one to get dragged. I did this back in the day. Claudia will give you a laundry list about some of the things that she's not proud of. Vivica does too. Lisa Ray does too. I do too. We can give you a laundry list like, yeah, I did that too. That's a fool.
Yeah. Weekly.
But we can come back and then give opinion about something that we don't like or something that we ain't feeling just the same. I feel like there has to be balance. If you're going to have an opinion about someone, you got to be able to say, hey, I'm not perfect either, but I wouldn't have did that way. She has a point. This country is racist. It was built on racism, built on our backs, slavery. We all know what time it is. So the comment that Kamala made, I could see where it could feel, because everybody's ready for this administration to mess up so they could go, see, I told you, they're waiting to do that. But the point is, I struggle with people that constantly come out in anger on things all the time. And they never say, hey, I get it. I know it's a tricky spot, but girl, then say, and look, I've been in tricky spots and I haven't done the right thing, but girl, you should have said X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because Amanda is on that. I'm sure Kamala Harris is very aware of Amanda Seales. And here's my thing. I just want us moving forward as Black people to not be so ready to throw the whole Black woman or Black man away over one thing. One thing doesn't define your life. It really doesn't, unless we're talking child abuse, rape, or murder. Okay. Everything else is forgivable. I really do think so. Most things are, so it's like we so ready to throw the whole person away over one thing they said when they have said a million other things that we agree with. And I just want us to stop doing that to each other. And that's just not just for Amanda Seales. That's for us Black women in general. We are quick to go on blogs and cancel each other out and say, I'm done. And we're so harsh to our sisters that we don't, and a lot of times, some of us do, but some of us don't have that same energy with the white folks. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Then there's that.
Yeah, okay. All right, moving on. Kandi Burruss recently admitted that Boyz II Men was the most difficult artist she's ever worked with. And people were kind of surprised about this. On Instagram Live, Kandi responded. She said, she talked about it. She goes, I hate to do it. And there's no love lost. I mean, this is like 100 years ago. She's saying it was a long time ago. So it doesn't even matter now. But she said, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men members, Wanya Morris, caught wind of her comments and responded with this. Let's take a look.
A little bit harder to work with her. You know what I'm saying? I think we did another song with Shakespeare that she was a part of. We recorded the songs. They went on the album. But to me, personally, I just, I could take her or leave her.
And there you have it.
Well, it sounds like they, and guess what? Sometimes things don't work out between people. Right. And neither one of them trashed each other. They were like, it didn't work out, and they were difficult. I see that as an adult way of not seeing eye to eye. What do you think, Selena?
I agree. You definitely not going to like everybody that you work with. It's just the way it is. People are people, and everybody has their own.
Like you say, everybody don't interact the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some makeup artists you like, some you don't.
Doesn't mean they're bad people. Just
right. And can I also tell you too that it also matters when you catch people at certain stages in their career. They may have worked with each other when they were young, and everybody came in the room with a head this big, and and that what caused them to bump heads. I've worked with some people that is like I was looking forward to working with. I remember doing Out All Night back in the day, and some of the music artists would show up and be kind and fun, and afterwards we would go out and have a drink, and then other ones you were like, oh wow, like they wouldn't even make eye contact with you, and so it just depends on where. It sounds like they probably worked with each other when they were both young. They probably could work with each other now as adults, and it would probably be a different experience.
And I wonder how things were for Kandi being a female songwriter back then when it was a very male-dominated situation. So there's probably a lot of things I went to. But you know what? Kudos to them for handling it both like adults, because they both could have snapped on each other, but they did not. And I like them both. We're going to take a...
It must have been honest. You know what I mean? So they both felt the same way, and they both was like, that was then, it was not.
Welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. After a week off, I miss you, ladies. I'm glad to see you all back tonight.
We miss you too. I know it was kind of strange last Monday not to think like, what are we gonna do?
Right.
Yeah.
I
slept though. I'm not gonna lie. I caught up on some sleep. I
went.
So I didn't.
My friend of 27 years, Sonia, she had her 50th birthday, so we all went down to Cancun and celebrated her because we couldn't do it in February.
I saw you in your blue jumpsuit, Claudia.
Oh, I missed that.
Yes, honey, that blue jumpsuit was fitting tight, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I had a good time. Okay, well, speaking of tight, someone is tight over there on the post set. The executive producer and director, Janet Mock, gave a fiery speech last week's Pose red carpet premiere in New York City. She chose that time to make this speech. She claimed that the FX show has been underpaying her. She said, "Why am I only making $40,000 an episode?" She also shouted, "F Hollywood." They do this to make you feel uncomfortable? It should. It should make you feel, it should make you shake in your, sorry, I'm trying not to cuss. There's a lot of F-bombs in this right here, okay? I wish I could just swear. Okay, she said, F Hollywood. They do this to make you feel uncomfortable. It should make you shake in your mother effing boots. This is speaking truth, and this is what Pose is. During the rant, she also said she cheated on her boyfriend. Pose actor Angel Bismarck Curiel. Wow, she was kind of going in. What do you think about her decision to share this and be frustrated? And what do you think about her making $40,000 an episode as an executive producer of a really hot show?
Well, we know about a rant, and we know sometimes there's something that makes you just go black. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where that came from, how you talk about your finances and then cheating. I don't know. I think that's
right. I mean,
you know what I mean? But here's the thing. How long has she been around? Okay.
You already know. Y'all already know what Vivica gonna tell you. She's gonna be like, baby.
They do. It's like, a lot of people ain't even making that a year. You know what I mean? Especially in a pandemic and how, things has been going out. So I get that, you want to look at your counters and say, they making this and I'm only making whatever. I don't know the story of who else is making how much on her set that she's comparing herself to. But again, how long has that other person been around and how long you've been around and who is your agent and what is your contribution? And there's a lot that goes into that, really.
And why was that everyone else's fault at that event that they've got to hear all of your damn dirty laundry? This is a celebration. Now, how soon do you think you're going to be invited back to the party, Janet? Most likely you're not. You know what I mean? Because everybody's going to remember. Like, did y'all remember Janet? Let everybody know how much she made. $40,000 wasn't enough for Janet. And she cheated on a man. Or whomever, her partner. Janet, come on, you guys.
It's also a mistake because
everything as far as I'm concerned.
It's also a mistake because I'd rather people think I'm making more. So my next job, I could just hit them over the head and be like, on my last job, I was making $1.15. So you have to pay me at least that. That's what I would have done.
They do keep tabs on that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They do quoting.
Okay, well,
let me
ask you guys this. You guys have produced things before. Is that an appropriate amount for a show like Pose, or is she
absolutely
it is and what they're selling and how much money, the budget and all of that. It depends on a whole lot of things.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been out there on the, then that's when you have to figure to go back and get incentives. Okay, that if your agent has negotiated a contract for you, that's what you get, sweetheart. You sign that contract. So what you try to do is then you try to get incentives and either try to figure out a back end deal or when you get picked up again, how to negotiate your deal a little bit sweeter. And is that
the reason why the show isn't coming back? For all the drama that's going on inside the drama? Because it was a good show, honey. I loved it. I was here for it. The whole thing, especially when they was just doing their, doing the what's the events, the balls.
Yes. Oh, you love those kind of shows, Lisa. Yes. You do. That's your thing. She loves it.
And makeup, all kind of stuff. It's like I've been doing it since high school.
So I guess
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just, you just have to learn. Uma Thurman told me something when I was doing Kill Bill, and I wanted to go on a rant toward Quentin Tarantino one day because I was mad because he wasn't tooting my horn the way I thought I had been stretching and kicking and killing myself. And she just kindly pulled me to the side. She's very ladylike with it. And she said, hey, you have to learn to be more manipulative. You can get whatever you want, but there is a time and place for everything. He can fire you and he can ruin your name. Don't do that anymore. And I appreciated her as a woman because at first I was kind of like, what you mean? I don't be needing him. But she's like, girl, like, are you out your mind?
Okay.
And I had to step back and check myself and not be team too much, and that's what that is. That's when you kind of like new booty and you forget that, time and place for everything and other people watching you.
Yes.
Now that one day may hire you or fire you.
You see how you just showed an instance where you didn't do something that might have been favorable. Then you talked about this. That's a teachable moment. Now, if I'm looking at you, I'm going to go, okay, yeah, because she been through it. So now I understand why and what she's saying. So now I'm going to be more receptive to it. You see what I'm saying?
And all teachings come from experience. When you go through it, you like, oh, I know how I feel. I can speak on it now.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
I just hope that someone else is in line waiting to give her $40,000 per episode to be a producer.
Stay tuned.
And how you actually do, because a lot of times EP is sometimes a vanity credit. So is it really
Exactly. Agreed, Selena.
Production, booking, like, are you really pulling up your sleeves, like
doing the work,
set, turning up, like budgets, like, are you allocating budgets and things of that nature? Because if you're doing that, then okay, you might be on to something. But
or as you said, Selena, or is it a vanity credit? Because there's been a lot of times I've done movies and the credit list rolls up. I'm like, where the people at? Y'all see them?
Okay. Right.
What you got? Right. What else we got, honey?
I was just thinking about the low budget bullshit I did. I would gladly take $40,000. I'll take 10. So anyways, moving on. Speaking of moving on, someone who cannot seem to move on is that Khloe Kardashian. There's more rumors that came out. There was this girl that said that she was messing around with Tristan back in January, February. And Khloe supposedly reached out to the girl on social media. What do y'all think? What advice would y'all give Khloe about this man? I feel like she really wants to make it work for her family, but this man, he in these streets. He for the streets.
Isn't he younger than her? Like kind of like yes. Dramatically younger than her? Okay, well,
I think 7 years.
Y'all, yeah, girl, it's gonna take a minute now for him to catch up on certain concepts. It's tough.
It's time like for Khloe to stop being a damn doormat for Tristan.
Yeah,
okay,
I was just
girl.
Say, girl, you
girl. First of all, you are Kardashian, girl. I'm showing some plenty of brothers lining up. They all just want to take a trip. You know what I mean? And do this and the third. I mean, at this point, do you really want this kind of man to be the a parental father figure to your children? The fact that he can't even respect mama. What foundation are you on, period?
Well, you're teaching your daughter to accept that same kind of man. You know, that's what you're doing. And
I guess with them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, you're teaching your daughter to accept that kind of man. Now, I know her daughter is very, very small, but if her intention is to try to stick for the baby, for the family, that's not gonna work in the end. Now, you might be just in an era where, and we've all been here, where we be with somebody and we know they ain't worth a damn.
Oh yeah.
And we just caught up. She might still be in the caught up just hanging on for dear life.
Well, what is that?
You can do when that D is just.
I was getting ready to say it. She got to learn. Look here, you are digmatized. Okay.
Ain't nothing she can do.
And I think what she got in her favor too is what is Megan Thee Stallion's verse when she say, switch my wig and make him feel like he's cheating. It's many different ways that she be looking lately. I mean, he feel like he got different women. He should be feeling like, he come home to something different every time, really. Look, I mean, right?
But you know what, Lisa, right? Every girl that he's allegedly, and I'll say allegedly, been accused of cheating with, none of them look like her. They all look like mixed biracial looking girls. He likes light-skinned Black girls. And Khloe, as much as she's been working on becoming one, she's almost there. She needs like 2 more levels. But you know what, Khloe, you have a lot of dudes that probably want to holler at you. And I know it's hard to break up your family. And you see that your daughter looks just like him. You have a reminder of him every single day. And I can't speak on that because I don't have any kids. So I don't know what that feels like. But this man, I mean,
there's an old saying, a tiger's not going to change his stripes. And I just think that there has to be a side of her that finally just goes, he is who he is, and move on. Because that energy that you then have to take back home to feel like, what did I not do? Was I not pretty enough? Did I not talk this way? Was it in bed? You get all of these what ifs when it has nothing to do with her. It is the type of man that he is. And she deserves better. I would not wish that on my worst enemy, for the man that they want to have a family with. Doesn't want the same thing, obviously.
And she's already the sister. She's already the sister that she has said in many interviews has been the most insecure growing up, because she said it's really difficult to constantly be compared to Kim and Kourtney. So she's got to have some issues with, that's got to be tough to always be. She talked about them calling her the fat one or the ugly one, which is mean.
And she probably just take a picture of Kim and say, I want to look like my older sister.
You know what?
And in some pictures and some days with hair and makeup, she does. I mean, they've got the best hair and makeup people to make them look however they want to. But I'm just talking about her spirit and her as a woman, that like she doesn't. you got to learn when a relationship it's time to, my daddy used to say this, you got to realize when it's time to put a period on that chapter and turn the page. And life is too short. It goes by so fast. And for her not to experience love, it's just not good. The text
messages that she sent her, she said, hey, it's Khloe. Can you talk? Or can we talk? And
she was trying to reach out.
Like, like keep this private. And the girl said, I'm putting you on blast. And it was like,
boom. See what I'm saying? Yeah. She gets set up for that embarrassment.
We gotta take a quick break, but Tristan, stop embarrassing the mother of your child. It's really wrong. No matter how you feel about the Kardashians, it ain't right to do that to anybody, especially someone you claim you love. So
it ain't even that serious. There's too many diseases out here, man.
We gotta take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Cocktails of Queens. Oh Lord. Welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. Listen, we're gonna just jump right into it because we don't have a lot of time left, and we got a couple things I want to hear y'all's opinion on. Okay, that Caitlyn Jenner, has announced her run for governor of California, and she recently expressed some surprising political views, which I think this is. I want to hear your opinion. Caitlyn, who's a transgender woman, and a former gold medal Olympic athlete, told TMZ that trans girls should not compete against cisgender girls in school sports. She told the reporter that it's a question of fairness. She went on to say, that's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girls' sports in schools. It just isn't fair, and we have to protect girls' sports in our schools. Are you shocked by this, or do you agree?
I was actually proud of her for saying that, because I honestly thought she was going to be like, why? I went through this whole experience, but that's in the sport of being fair, that if someone was once a male, even though they trans, whatever they've done, I don't know what you call it, that it should be fair, that they would have an advantage. But what I didn't like, baby, we had one reality star in government, and no. So I was happy about the sporting thing, but running for governor, no, thank you.
Yeah, I think that the makeup of a woman and a man is totally different, so it wouldn't be fair. Genetics is not the same, and so I don't think it would be fair. So good, and kudos to speaking up. The governor thing, I don't know, the political stance or how involved she is in politics.
Exactly.
To speak about that, we need some serious people in
Agreed.
Position.
Claudia, correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But I think didn't she support Donald Trump?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
That's why I'm trying to tell you.
No to you in politics.
Together, look where that got us.
No, ma'amula, no, ma'am, and no, sir. Okay, in politics. Okay, because no. As far as the transgender thing, I do agree. I think it is unfair if you were once a boy and then you go to a girl's sport, because genetically you're going to be faster, quicker, stronger. However, I do feel on the other side, as a transgender, it's tough for a boy to go to a boys' sport because they will be bullied, ridiculed, and all types of other things. So why not we explore a transgender sports?
Agreed.
Why can't we explore a sporting events specifically geared towards them so that they can feel comfortable? Because I think that this whole argument is really about feeling comfortable, feeling comfortable in America. There's so much offense going on against transgender. We have to figure out a way for them to feel comfortable. But I do think that women could get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like transgender boxing. No, like a transgender against another woman in boxing.
Right.
That's not fair. Basketball, they get an elbow, they dead. You know what I'm saying? Track, you're obviously gonna run faster. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as women's football leagues we're not allowed yet to play in the NFL. So we had to have our own NFL. And it's the same reason why we have women's sports and men's sports, because men are stronger than us and could hurt us. And it's the truth. They're
I'm sure
that way.
And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that are offended by these comments. And we got to find a middle ground where the transgender community doesn't feel left out, because that's the whole thing. They want to feel, they want to feel like, listen, they want to feel how they want to be treated the way they identify. And I understand that, and they should be. But then there is that biological argument, but then they'll say there's some transgenders whose testosterone levels are really, really low. and all this. But I feel like we don't have enough of the facts yet. So I think that we do need to explore other options to make it fair so no one feels left out. Let's take our last and final break, and we'll be back with more Cocktails with Queens. You know what? We got to talk more about Caitlyn Jenner running for office next week, because I forgot there's a whole bunch of other things we need to talk about. You couldn't even really run your own house with Chris. Chris was running that house. Now Chris can run for governor. I don't know about you.
She'll get my vote.
Hey, before we go, did y'all see this thing on social media? T-Pain, when he made a video, he was like kind of clowning himself that he never knew that there was a request folder in Instagram in the DMs. And apparently, really, Lisa,
I didn't
you should check.
I'm like, where?
Y'all probably got a whole bunch of money. So he found out there was so many celebrities trying to reach out to work with him, to collab with him. And he probably left a lot of money on the table. Listen, for next week, let's all go check in our DM requests and see if we left any money on the table or any great D pics that may be in there.
Right now, girl, where I find it at?
Right. Okay, that's how I feel too, Lisa Ray. I'm like, where?
Ladies,
nobody but crazy people in mine. So I just delete and sometimes I share nice people, but mostly it's psychos. So.
And all that I got to say, if somebody's showing up with some real money, y'all know how to get in touch with my people.
Absolutely.
Come on.
It's called my manager.
Well, ladies, this was fun. Thank you so much for participating in another theme. We will do your theme that you requested. Hit us up on Instagram in our request, and we'll get to you. Stay tuned for Later with Leon. But first, it's FOXSOUL's Deal that's coming up next. Ladies, see you next week. It's good to see y'all.
Hats off.